All right, welcome to another Jags podcast. This is episode depression, Joey.
So depressed.
Because we are depressed about the Jags. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Another Jags Podcast and Twitter at Another Jags Pod. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can watch Joey and me in all of our glory, where Joey and me are wearing the exact same color shirt right now.
It was not intentional whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
I actually changed in like 5 seconds when I got home. Just threw it on.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, meant to be.
And a little teaser for our podcast listeners. I was messing around with some settings today on my computer, and we are HD recording now. I think. We haven't uploaded it to YouTube yet, but I think that we are HD.
The most amazing part is that it could have been that way the whole time.
It could have been. So about a year now?
At least
a year.
Hey, my favorite saying is you learn something new every day.
So we learned that is in fact we're HD now. So
let us know what you think. Does it look better? Not? I don't
know. I mean, we'll see how it renders when it gets to YouTube. But obviously, no Jag fan is happy. We asked on Twitter what you thought. We're going to get to that in a second. Obviously, no one's happy.
I mean, honestly, like, I almost, for the first time, did not want to do the podcast. Like, not outside of, life stuff or anything like that. It was just like, I don't want to be negative because all I've been hearing all week is just negative. Because, I mean, rightfully so. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to be positive, I think, right?
We are.
Isn't that the goal?
I mean, we're known for being positive.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to try to be today. And we may do it. We may not.
I doubt we got any positive tweets, right? I mean,
no, nothing positive. There were some good ones though. Like this whole episode will be full of Twitter posts, which is awesome. That's what we like to hear.
What makes it even more positive though is like walking in here and Lamar Jackson's, 6 drives, 6 touchdowns, like 1,000 yards and
6 drives, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean he had 4 drives and 4 touchdowns in the first 10 minutes.
It blows my mind how coaches and scouts are just so ignorant when it comes to evaluating college.
I think it's
talent.
like egotistical.
I think that here's what I don't get. It's a coin flip either way.
Yeah.
Right? It's a coin flip either way. Whether you're drafting Leonard Fournette, Jalen Ramsey, Taven Bryan, it's a coin flip. Yeah. You don't know if your first round pick is going to be good for you or not. Why not draft a guy that has proven that he is good in college?
It's the same thing with Deshaun Watson. I mean, it's like, yeah, okay, we want to go with measurables, like his, up end potential, like a Taven Bryan, but we won't take a guy who dominated college.
Yeah, wins national championship.
Makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah. You're a winner.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So we're starting off on a negative note.
Yeah,
why did I do that, man?
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Go Ravens.
Why don't we just jump straight to the Twitter questions? What are your thoughts about that?
I love Twitter questions. Those are the fans.
All right, so there's in no particular order. I think actually I'm just going to read the Twitter comments in the order of which we got them. That way, because
I never know what they are beforehand
that's
anyway.
That's true.
So.
That's a good point. All right, so the first comment was from Seth, and he says, the Twitter question was for the Jags fans that are still around, because let's be fair, there's a lot of Jags fans that aren't around.
No, it's tough.
If you noticed, there were probably 6 or 7 podcasts when the season started, Jaguars podcasts, and we are down to only a couple now.
There's a good reason for that.
So for the Jags fans,
some of them killed themselves.
Yeah. Hey, but for the Jags fans that are still around, what do the Jags need to do to fix this abomination of a team? And the first response from Seth was new coaches.
I mean, that's the question of the week, obviously, right? I mean, everybody on the radio has been debating that. Everybody at work's been debating that. I mean, I think if you know anybody who's a football fan or a Jags fan, you've been talking about it. And the problem is it's not just one thing. I mean, there's so many glaring holes at the moment that I think a new coach is probably the smallest of that. But since that's the question, my thought on that is you cannot fire the coach without firing Tom Coughlin, because no legit coach is going to want to come in here under the iron fist of Tom Coughlin. So I think they're tied together. DC, different story. I think he should go too, but not so much. I mean, I think DC could probably make a case for himself, and a coach wouldn't not want to come here because of that. But, dude, a legit coach is going to want to have control, and Tom Coughlin doesn't allow that.
Yeah, there's a age-old debate in coaching football. I've spent a lot of years coaching football, defensive side of the football. And there's an age-old question that's like existential. It's the philosophical coaching question. Like it's the question with no answer. And it's this. Is what's more important? X's and O's
Man, I was going to jump in and say that. I'm glad
or
that was
Jimmy's and Joe's?
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. What's more important? Would you rather have a team full of solid players with a bad coach, or a Bill Belichick with a team full of average players? And you see it happen both ways. You see guys win NFL championships with coaches that you're not really sure how it happened. And then you see teams win with an amazing coach with a talent that's maybe not really there.
I think the greatest example of that right now is San Francisco. I mean, they basically run the same defense as us, but they have a lot better personnel.
Absolutely. And they're a team in the same situation as us that has had top 10 draft picks year after year after year.
They were awful for the past like 5 or 6 years. I mean,
and they're so much like us, in fact, that they signed someone else's backup quarterback. They've been drafting D linemen every year in the top 5. They have a lot of similarities to us, yet they are in a much better position than we are. So
I mean, my thing about the coaches is that, I mean, it's not like Walsh forgot how to coach all of a sudden. When we played Tennessee at the beginning of the season, we dominated them based on his scheme.
Yeah.
2017, we dominated people with his scheme. It might be a simple scheme, and the players matter more because they have to do what they're supposed to do. But I mean, I'm a big proponent of like, at this level, at the professional level, your coach is there to prepare you, to motivate you, and to make sure things just go okay from like a off the field standpoint. On the field, dude, it's the players, man. You're a professional. I think it's the players.
I'm sitting here on this is going to shock you, Joey. I'm sitting here on the fence on this one. I know you didn't. I know,
but the Jags are the fence team right now because it's
because look, I could argue X's and O's. I could argue Jimmy's and Joe's. My internal instincts want to say that a team full of talent, doesn't matter who your coach is. If your team is good, it doesn't matter. Like you said, Todd Wash can roll out cover one, man defense across the board. You have Jalen Ramsey, you have Barry Church, you have Tayshaun Gibson, you have A.J. Boye, you have Aaron Colvin, you have a D-line full, you have linebackers. Just run man. But you don't need tendencies. You don't need to look at what they like to do. You just line up and play man.
But you're talking scheme at that point, though, not like.
I'm saying you don't need a scheme if your team is that good.
I agree, but you need a team manager at that point, which is what the head coach is. If you're just going with players, look at Cleveland. Tons of talent all over the place.
Yeah, that's true.
And it took them over half a season before they're doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So you need somebody that manages the team, not necessarily manages the scheme, because you got the players. So I'd rather have the X's or the
Jimmy's and Joe's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be my preference because that's way more fun to watch. And there's only so many Belichicks out there, man.
Okay, let's take a look at this play here, and I want to look at it because, look, I'm not presenting video to support my argument because I do that all the time to you, Joey.
You do.
I do.
I appreciate you not this time.
It's not fair to you. I come in here and just sabotage you.
That's no problem with
this.
that.
Okay, look, this is more for my own argument because I'm a huge fan of you get the right players in. The coach doesn't really matter. I think the coach can maximize your talent on your roster, and I think you see teams do that all over the place. But you look at things all the time. But I mean, look at the Rams, dude. The Rams have so much talent, and they are not doing great either.
Oh God.
So but look here. Okay, the Jags is 3rd and 15. So it's not like this is a super huge play in the game.
Whoa! Stop for a second here. The Jags had a 3rd and 15.
I know. And
was there a holding penalty?
No, yeah, this
before
was after the holding penalty.
Just a guess. Didn't see this play
which the Jags lead the league in holding penalties, which is not surprising, but it's like that's why they're not good. But look. You're an offensive coordinator. You're Doug Marrone. You have a 3rd and 15 drawn up. Okay, look how the Titans are playing you. They're lined up everyone on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Like they're basically saying we're bringing pressure, and you better figure out how to stop it.
They're basically saying like you have no tight end. Try to get to the middle.
Well, we'll get there in a second. But look, Leonard Fournette is Leonard Fournette your best offensive player right now?
Absolutely.
He is, right? We would all agree Leonard Fournette is your best offensive player on the team. Feed him the ball. He's been having a great year.
Other than Chark, he's your only offensive weapon on the team.
I agree 100%. But then watch this play. 3rd and 15. This is plays. 3rd and 15 are the plays that you pay Nick Foles for. Nick Foles is the guy that can convert 3rd and 15.
And this is on the Titans side of the field.
Exactly. No, I mean, we're driving.
Yeah, this is like
honestly,
scoring chance.
Like you get, and look, if you're a coach who views the game a certain way, the Jags are on the 34-yard line of the Titans. You get a handful of yards here, you kick a field goal, you go up 3-0.
Yeah. And then
we're winning the game. But let's see what happens here. We're in shotgun formation. If you're listening to the podcast, Leonard Fournette's lined up to Foles' left. The Titans are pretty much gonna blitz. They're gonna do a zone blitz. So they're gonna drop linebackers that were on the line of scrimmage to kind of throw them off. Okay, they're only blitzing three. Okay, this is not a overcomplicated blitz package.
You don't have a safety coming in. There's nobody from the side.
So you have 5 guys blocking 3. And if you count Leonard Fournette, who's going to be blocking, that's 6 guys blocking 3. So literally, we could double team every rusher on this play.
This is where the guy blows up Leonard Fournette, right?
We could double team every rusher on this play if we wanted to. Leonard Fournette just absolutely whiffs.
That was bad.
And look, there's no defensive scheme.
No, he's not even looking at that guy though. He's not even looking at the play.
Like he's looking like he wants to release or something like, or I don't know, but he's going to end up being a blocker on this play, and just right past him, right past him, and like you can't do that. Like you are the best player on the offense. Nick Foles had absolutely no chance on that play.
No, heck no.
So
nobody would have had a chance?
Is that Marone's fault? Is that DeFilippo's fault? Look, I understand. Look, I'm not ignorant. I know that you got to the 3rd and 15 because your offensive lineman held the defender, and that's on the coaches.
Yeah.
And I get that. But
between Linder, Jawan Taylor, and I can't think of the third one right now.
Cam Robinson had
Cam Robinson, yeah. They have 30 holding penalties to this point, which that's coaching.
I agree.
Or lack of talent you got to hold because you aren't good enough to do. I mean, either way, that's horrific. It leads the league. But, I mean, is this scheme? I mean,
this is just poor execution from your best player on offense. And that's what I'm trying to say. Look, if it's me, like, honestly, if it's me, I'm running the ball here and kicking a field goal. Because this is the NFL, and, like, it comes down to literal points. It comes down to field goals in this game. And that you call me conservative all you want, but if I'm calling this offense, we start this game 3-0.
I agree. I mean, they keep saying that, he doesn't trust our offensive line to run for, but Fournette has ran well in that game. I mean, Fournette can run well. I mean, why not?
I think Fournette is a good player, and look, who knows if Fournette can't pick that up, but it's just like that's...
He doesn't have to pick it up, though. He just has to get 6-7 yards.
I mean, I agree. And you cannot... I mean, Nick Foles is a guy who takes chances down the field, and it's...
Can you run that play a little further if he didn't get sacked? Was anybody even remotely open?
This isn't the end zone film. This is just the highlight film, but the camera doesn't even go. We just get to see the Titans celebrate like they're the best team ever when literally Leonard Fournette just didn't block.
At some point, will you pull up the stiff arm run so I can...
Which one? The one from last year or one from this year?
This year.
Oh, that's coming.
Because this year he actually had to slow down.
Yeah, that's coming.
Stiff arm the guy just so he could. So whatever.
All right, let's jump back to Twitter.
Once again, positive.
Yeah, let's jump back to Twitter. Okay, this is from Alex Moats, and he's at Lincoln Stofat1. Stofat with PH, not an F. He says, again, remember the question is what do we do with this team?
Yeah.
He says you must re-sign Yannick Ngakoue while he wants to be here.
Agreed.
That's probably a good point. Trade Foles and or draft any linebacker help, offensive line help, or tight end help. Lastly, and most importantly, complete cycle of front office and coaching. Allows a new front office to build what they want in coaching in 4 very important first-round draft picks, free agent market.
I mean, I agree. If you're going to make a change, which I think obviously Khan probably will, everybody goes. It's got to be a package. It's got to be Marone. It's got to be DC. It's got to be Caldwell. I mean, and TC. As far as let
me throw this at you though, hypothetical. And again, and I haven't heard anyone say this. I have no source for this. I haven't heard anyone even comment on this. But it's something I think could be very realistic. Do you think possibly that Tom Coughlin went up to Shad Khan and was like, look, we just signed Nick Foles. Telvin's out. We have draft picks. Ramsey's gone. Give us a year or two to kind of bring this team together. Don't judge us off this year because this year has been kind of chaotic. Do you think that's a conversation that the front office had with Shad Khan?
Of course they did. They're trying to save their jobs.
But I agree, but is there rationale to that?
I mean, that's their excuse every year: injuries or, I mean, whatever.
But this offseason was different in the fact that we brought in an $88 million
Dude,
quarterback, which is something that does not happen very often.
No, it doesn't. And I'll talk about that for a second because you ain't trading Nick Foles unless like he lights it up the next 3 or 4 games because nobody's going to want him. I mean, he hasn't proven anything this year to this point. We're going to have these 2 quarterbacks going into next season, which I think is a great thing. We've got 2 solid quarterbacks. We don't have to worry about that, regardless of everything else. I like Marrone. I think Marrone's hands have been tied. And I think he's managed things pretty well in a season where your starting quarterback goes down in the first game. Your best defensive guy creates this big drama show and leaves the team. I think he's done pretty good considering that. I mean, I don't think Marrone should go. I just question Caldwell's choices sometimes, man. And I think that's a problem. I think that Tom Coughlin is too overpowering with letting Marrone do what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to sum up how I feel right now, this is how I feel, and I hear a lot of radio personalities kind of agree with this part about Marrone. Like Marrone's a good guy, decent coach. I think the issue with this team is Tom Coughlin.
I agree,
and I love what Tom Coughlin has done for us in the past. Like I get it. I'm not a young Jags fan that doesn't respect what has happened here, but at the same time, Tom Coughlin was the one that decided to extend Bortles.
Yep.
Tom Coughlin was the one that decided to sign Foles to an $88 million deal.
Yes.
Tom Coughlin ran off Jalen Ramsey.
Tom Coughlin did not re-sign Jan.
Tom Coughlin has not re-signed Jan. Tom Coughlin drafted Taven Bryan instead of Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, many of these guys the Ravens drafted ever.
Yeah.
Like, look, Tom Coughlin is making mistakes left and right. Tom Coughlin's the one that drafted Quincy Williams as a safety and moved him to linebacker, and as a rookie put him in a starting position. Tom Coughlin is the one where you look at this defense and everyone out there is undrafted. You're looking at Wingard, and you're looking at Calitro. You're looking at even AJ Boye. I mean, he's a good player, but undrafted. Dude, this team is full. Jared Wilson. This team is full of undrafted players.
Yeah.
You cannot win in the NFL with a team full of undrafted players.
No.
We talk about all the time how we get so overhyped about undrafted rookies in the offseason. Yeah. We all do.
Well, because you got to have a couple of them, and they got to hit.
And
but you don't need
let me side note here,
6 or 7 of your starters like that.
Let me side note here. Did you watch any of the Packers game last night?
No, I did not.
Because what stood
they got
out
stomped, though,
was that Alan Lazard played a lot in that game.
And was he
remember?
Good? No, he was our guy.
Like, you remember Alan Lazard?
James was like, Lazard's going to be it.
Alan Lazard.
He's like 6-something with long arms.
Yeah. Alan Lazard was the next Allen Robinson.
Was he on Green Bay?
He played a lot. Like he played a lot.
And they had
on
like
the offense.
8 points?
No, they didn't look good. Yeah. They did not look good.
But to your point, I actually agree with that. I think, and that's why I brought it up earlier. Marrone, you fire him, okay, great. Nobody's going to take that job with Coughlin hanging over their head. It's not going to happen. Nobody that you want is going to take that job.
I think someone would take it.
Yeah, of course you're going to fill the position because you're going to get paid and it's a shot. But I think Coughlin needs to go first and foremost.
Yeah, I agree, and that hurts to say, but I think we're on.
It really does, man. Yeah. He's done a lot for the team in the city,
yeah.
and he's a good guy. I mean, the Coughlin Foundation. I mean, they're not knocking any of that, but I think the game's passed him by, unfortunately.
This next comment is from Patrick, and he's at Patrick85. He says, winless in November, lost every game in convincing fashion. Takeaways from this month. Foles isn't the spark the team needed. Coaches failed to make the proper adjustments after the half. And why haven't they paid Jan yet?
I would have to agree with a couple of those. Foles, man, everybody talks about his clavicle. It's not his throwing side. But, dude, you try to chuck a ball 25 yards, and the twist that you get, that clavicle is hurting like crap. He doesn't have the zip. He looks like he's got a tired arm because I think he's half wincing on every throw that he makes. So, yeah, he's not the guy that we drafted or the guy that played the first game of the season. It is what it is there. I think the biggest point of that was, what was the second part of that question when he was talking about the halftime stuff.
Yeah.
That's what crushes me, man.
Yeah.
Like we're 7-3 at halftime or 10-7, and then we lose by 20 points like 3 games in a row. How does that happen? That's coaching again.
Yeah.
And dude, it's like this big.
That's probably the biggest indictment on the coaches is the halftime adjustments that we're not making.
No adjustments whatsoever.
Yeah,
and the other team obviously does, and they come out and crush us. I mean, that's the hard thing to argue with Marrone, I guess. I mean,
Look, I agree. We, if you haven't listened to Joey and me's, I don't know what it was. Our last podcast about the Minshew Foles debate. Was that the last one?
2 ago.
Two episodes ago, we had a nice Minshew Foles debate. It was beautiful. Mainly
One of our better ones.
Yeah, mainly because everything's proving that I'm right. Is the only thing.
Okay, you think if Minshew is in that game?
Okay. All right. I don't know.
Being-
I just know Minshew's record as a starter. I know Foles' record as a starter, and Minshew played harder teams.
True.
So, but here, look. I am a Minshew guy. There's no doubt about that.
And just for the record, I love Minshew as well.
Right, but I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
But and look, and in this video, again, I'm known for sabotaging Joey with these videos. This video is going to support your argument here. Okay. So this is if you're listening to the podcast and you can't see, in the first quarter, again, 0-0 still. It's 3rd and 7. First quarter's coming to an end. There's 4 minutes left in the game. We're backed up on our own 9-yard line. Again,
Bad spot for us.
3rd and medium, 3rd and long. These are the plays you pay Nick Foles for.
True.
It's what he's proven he can do. It's what separates him from everyone else. It's what puts him above all the bum average quarterbacks that we've had here in the past. He's lined up here, and the Jags are lined up with, I think this looks like a tackle over, so it looks like they have an extra tackle in the game, which usually they run, but it's 3rd and 7, so they're probably not going to do that. He drops back. He has a nice little 5-step drop.
No time.
Clock winding down for Jacksonville.
It hits him in the helmet.
It hits Chris Conley in the helmet.
You can't throw it any better than that.
So
It literally hit him in the helmet, full speed, in stride, in the helmet.
So there's a couple things here that I want to get to.
And he got tagged as he was throwing it.
I lost it.
He had what, a second and a half?
Yeah. So if you look here, Juwan Taylor doesn't do a great job of
He got
containing.
a little push at least.
Oof, man.
Right
That's,
into
I
him.
mean, that's a good move though. I mean,
That was a good move.
watch this move here by this D end. Look how quickly he just bang sheds him. Gets to the. I mean, that's just a great
what
play right there.
Our defensive line stopped doing, getting off tackles.
But Foles throws a great throw, hits Chris Conley literally in that. Look, we got to show this. Look, if you can see the ball
Like,
here,
it might have stuck
it's
in his face mask.
hitting
if it was any
him
closer.
in the helmet. Was it Little Giants where the
Yeah.
ball gets stuck in the face mask?
Good play.
That was what pretty much happened here. And
That's a game changer.
is this on Foles?
No.
Okay, so here, my first thought was like, okay, that's not on Foles because Chris Conley should have made that catch. And to be honest, Chris Conley should have made that catch.
It is off the
But at the
shoulder
same
of Conley.
time,
Oh, here it comes.
what did we see Minshew do repeatedly when he was throwing the ball? He force-fed the ball to DJ Chark.
Sure.
Like, threw it up to him, back shoulder. Why? Because DJ Chark can make those plays.
But Chark dropped 2 balls as well. I mean,
But
Shoulder of Conley.
what I'm saying is that he can do it. Like, if you throw Chark that ball, he might catch it. I haven't seen Conley ever make a catch like that.
no,
Ever.
over the middle maybe, but
Yeah,
not
a
down
slant
the
route,
sideline.
like I'll give you that, but that
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is that Foles' fault though? It's
I mean,
not.
if it hits you in the hand, what's the old like adage? Like, I'm sorry for hitting you in the hands.
Yeah, I mean,
when
like-
you throw a ball to your buddy and he drops it, and you're like, but yeah,
I don't think you can blame Foles for that.
nah, I don't think you can either.
He had no time. Hit the guy in the helmet, in stride. I mean, that changes the game. We go up 7-0 there.
Yeah,
Again, we're playing
like,
with the lead, and it's a different ball game altogether. But
It's
see,
just
we're just awful all around.
it's
man.
just
The
execution,
bottom
dude.
line is
we
suck.
cannot execute, and we suck.
And you want to talk about like coaches? Did you hear the post game interview with
Yeah,
Marone?
but before we get to that,
Okay,
though, let's take a
'cause that was
break.
great.
Let's take a break before you get to that. We're gonna take a quick break so we can get a quick word in from our sponsors.
And try to think of something else positive.
We'll get there.
Will we?
We are more positive than most other.
We are, but at this
people
point,
out there.
man, like again, I'm about to start rooting for the Baltimore Ravens.
Hey, they look good tonight. They look
Lamar
good.
Jackson.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we will be right back. So hang tight, and we'll see you in a second. All right, welcome back to another Jags podcast. I had to unmute the soundboard back there, which is conveniently located directly behind me.
Which is the best place to have a soundboard. For all you sound techs out there, that is,
Yeah.
I learned that from Jason. It's got to be on the floor behind your chair.
Look, if you're looking at doing your own podcast and you have a soundboard, put it in a really inconvenient spot so that it's hard to get to for all
Makes
of
the sound all that better.
Absolutely. It just means you're working harder. We're back. Another Jags podcast. I'm here with Joey. If you haven't yet followed us on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or any of those things, make sure you follow us. Big shout out to our sponsors at Big Cat Country, SB Nation, Overtime Media Network. Love all of those guys for supporting us. We appreciate it. We're talking Jags. This is like a Jags depression episode.
I think it's more like a counseling episode. Like it's like
Yeah.
just get out all the random crap and maybe feel a little better afterwards.
This is
I don't
pretty
know.
therapeutic for me.
It is.
I
'cause
needed this.
I've been bottling it up all week.
Yeah, I have too. So it's been good. But let's get back to Twitter because that's where you guys are at, and that's what we care about with the fans. This next comment is from Kelly Trent, and she's at it's Kelly with a K.
Throwing one up there.
Kelly,
Been a while.
yeah. She says, fire the front office, get an offensive line, and put Minshew in. At least he's fun to watch.
I mean, yeah, he is fun to watch, and he probably is our quarterback of the future. But they're still trying to save their jobs, man. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm Doug Marrone or Filippo, there's no way I'm not sticking with Foles because first of all, we agreed to bring him in, had to have some say on that, and we want the best chance to win out, not the best chance for developing our future quarterback for seasons to come. So everybody who's calling for that, I think Foles has guaranteed one more game, maybe two more games. If he doesn't do any better in those two games, I think we'll see Minshew at the end of the year. But you're not going to see that for at least two more games, in my opinion.
Minshew, Marrone and Coughlin and Caldwell are legitimately sitting at their Thanksgiving tables this week
Wondering if they're going to get fired, right?
praying that Nick Foles does something.
Yeah.
Because like you said, their jobs are Nick Foles has their jobs on the line. And depending on how he plays is what we'll get from the future.
I mean, honestly, but think about it, guys. Nick Foles came into a crappy team to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Minshew came in, lit it up, went
With that same crappy team.
went 500,
With a more injured team.
but then finally played a good opponent again in the Houston Texans and looked like crap. Everybody forgets that. If he had won that game, he'd still be on the field right now.
I mean, you can't just say he looked like crap.
He looked like crap.
You have to take into consideration that it was in London. It was his
Why?
first time ever playing in London. Playing overseas.
Houston had never played in London.
But, I mean, how many rookies
Houston
did Houston depend on
Houston
in that game?
didn't have like three of their best players.
I mean, I'm not making excuses for Minshew. I am making excuses
You are
for
making
Minshew.
excuses
I
for
am making
Minshew.
excuses for Minshew because at least he gives you something.
What?
He gives you something.
He gives
Foles
you-
just isn't giving you anything right now.
It's because Foles is boring.
He is boring. But I like what Kelly said because she sums it up in such easy layman's terms.
Yeah.
And we do entire podcasts week after week to pretty much say, fire the front office, get an O-line, and put Minshew in. And she summed it up in 12 words.
Hey, don't. Hey, O-line. Like if we draft, I think we should get the Auburn guy with the first pick if we can. But if you take O-line with the next 3 picks, I'm not going to be mad.
It's just frustrating because the front office has spent money on the offensive line.
They've tried.
They spent money on Linder. They spent money on Norwell. They drafted Juwan Taylor. They drafted Cam Robinson.
And I think Juwan and Cam are going to be good at some point. They're just young. I mean, the biggest disappointment is Norwell, man.
Norwell's played better, though. Norwell's okay. Juwan Taylor, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Cam Robinson, honestly, I have
Up
no
in there.
clue.
Up
I have
in there.
no clue with
I
Cam
agree.
Robinson. I'm usually pretty decent at evaluating line talent.
Now, isn't Hernandez the one that's
He went to the Giants. He got drafted by the Giants.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's the guy we wanted them to take last year. Right?
There's a couple guys we wanted.
But hasn't he had like a pretty?
Hernandez has been good.
Yeah.
We wanted Isaiah Wynn that the Patriots ended up drafting. He got hurt his first year, but he's actually playing pretty. They moved him over to left tackle. We weren't sure if he was going to be a left guard out of Georgia or
okay.
a left tackle. He's playing left tackle.
I
He's
mean,
playing great.
Can't we just draft like every Clemson and Georgia offensive lineman for the next like 2 years?
Honestly, that'd probably be safe. But you'd think the same thing about Alabama guys.
Yeah.
And we did that with Cam Robinson. And honestly, Florida guys are typically pretty good in offensive line.
Not this year.
No, but I'm saying they're
Yeah.
typically pretty good at offensive line. I mean, you look across the league, and University of Florida puts out a lot of good offensive linemen. No homer, just saying facts.
Okay, but we don't ever take them until like we get like the 6th, 7th round.
I
guys.
think Juwan Taylor's a good pick.
I think he is
I
too.
think we can throw Juwan Taylor out of this conversation. I think he's a good pick.
I think he's a great pick.
I don't think Will Richardson's that good. And I have not been a fan of his since we drafted him at NC State. I do not think A.J. Cann's very good. I think Linder is overpaid.
He's definitely overpaid.
I was wrong about Norwell. Either I was wrong about
you were
Norwell.
wrong about him. He just got his check and mailing it in.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, either I was wrong about Norwell or he's been more hurt than we think.
I think he's just mailing it in.
Yeah, I think you're right too. And then Cam Robinson is just a victim of an ACL injury, which takes offensive linemen 2 years to recover from.
Yeah.
Unless you are Adrian Peterson, it takes you 2 years to recover.
That's a lot of weight to be pushing around.
Absolutely.
On a knee that's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, at a position where leverage is like the most important thing, your knees are going to be very important in that leverage
our
situation.
offensive line has not played as bad as our defensive line in the past 4 games.
The defensive line has been pathetic, man.
Is Darius or what?
Darius has been hurt.
Is Darius that good of a player?
No, he's not.
Okay, so how do we stop
The
Tennessee?
D-line wasn't good that last year.
How do we stop Tennessee the first game and then they go for 200 plus on us the second game?
Okay, here's what frustrates me about the front office. And this is why ultimately I think the front office has to go. Because everything that we said in the preseason when we were evaluating the position groups, you can go back and listen to it. They are on our channel. Go back to each position, listen to it. We talked about all of these things. We said linebacker is going to be a liability.
And now all they want to talk about is gap control and the lack of gap control.
We've had 3 weeks in a row with 200 yards rushers. No crap. We sat here and told you your linebackers were dog poo.
I mean, honestly, our defense has been crap since Paz left.
Bring pause back.
Dude, am
I
I
know.
wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but I think there's more factors. There's mitigating
Of course there
factors.
is. Of course there
than
is.
pause.
But as far as the
Look-
run defense goes, dude,
Look. Linebackers were so bad, and they addressed the linebacker position. This is how they addressed it. We went into the year. We said linebackers gonna be a liability. Telvin Smith retires. We said, hey,
Well, you couldn't see that
linebackers are going to be a liability. Please listen to us. They go out and they sign Jake Ryan,
he played last game.
Who apparently is a
he was
player.
in the game last game.
He apparently plays. He's apparently a football player. We're still verifying that. Our fact checker is still checking to see whether Jake Ryan is an actual human being or not.
By 2021, that guy's going to be
apparently
making some
Jake Ryan
tackles.
plays. And then we also addressed it by bringing in a safety
Quincy Williams.
from Murray State
What about
in
that,
the third
hey,
round.
What about that gap he hit with that tackle for a loss?
Okay,
The guy even had the ball.
Okay, good segue, Joey. Let's take a look at our linebackers and our secondary
I,
because
for one, like Quincy Williams, but he's not an answer. He's a supplement.
he is a special teams player. And I hate to be that guy because
Especially-
everyone was big on him. Everyone was
No.
big on him because of the highlight film that he made coming out of college
Which is
out of
great.
Murray State,
Where
which
he's
is
murdering
great.
people.
But he's a special teams guy. He's a gunner.
And I
He's a
agree.
punt.
That's my
he's
point.
a punt coverage gunner.
A
That's
great
what he
special
is.
teams guy.
Yeah.
Maybe a few plays during the game. If somebody gets hurt, he comes in. Great player for that. But you don't go up into the third round and get him.
Another position we talked about, secondary, specifically safety. We said, hey, like rolling into the season with Ronnie Harrison and Jared Wilson is kind of risky.
I think on that episode we actually had to look up Jared Wilson's name. And we did. I think we did.
I didn't. Maybe you
did. You were confused and like couldn't remember it, and like we didn't. I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay, so we said, hey, like not only made this safety unit be a liability, there is no depth there. And I understand you can't have depth everywhere. This is the NFL. But at the same time, your depth can't be Andrew Wingard. We cut C.J. Revis for Andrew Wingard. Do you remember this?
Yes.
And I get it that Wingard led like Division II with like tackles his
CJ
senior year.
Revis had some plays.
Yeah, look, we said these things. We were like, look, linebacker, safety, are there going to be an issue? And then let's take a look at this film here. So if you're listening to the podcast, we're bringing up another film here, and this is when it's 14-3, and it's May. If you were still watching the game at this point, it's the third quarter.
The game's still in hand.
Yeah, I mean,
you
it's
still
definitely
got
not a
shot at this
blowout.
point.
I mean, this is in that streak. What was it, like 9 plays where they scored like 28 points or something like that? Like
Yeah.
literally, there was like 9 plays where within 9 plays,
Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns in 20 seconds.
yeah. So this is one of them. And this is the long one, if you didn't know. So this is going to be from their
This might be my favorite play of the game.
26-yard line. They're lined up in what we call ace single back, twins right.
Which they're going to run the ball.
Basically means they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
They have 2 wide receivers to the field side, and they have a loaded line with tight ends to the boundary. And A nice little handoff to Derrick Henry, and then we see
Is that Miles Jack that like pushed forward? And fell down?
this is when we get what we like to call the watching brigade. I
He's
can
not even
count.
touched at this point.
I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys
Who overran the play?
that are watching this play, and then you have our buddy here, Andrew Wingard, engaged in a block with a tight end, which is what you want out of your safety, right? You want him not to be able to get off a block from your tight end.
Who's that right there? Big boy.
That's Avery Jones.
Yeah, he ain't getting there.
So,
I got a hand on him.
so look, Derrick Henry comes flashing out. Okay, so
Yeah, he hits a hole good. That's his whole MO.
we're in trouble here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in trouble, and this might have been the play that I think actually got called back on holding on Wingard because he gets held pretty bad here, but okay,
What are you doing?
Ronnie Harrison, man.
Running with him.
Or no, that's Jared. That's DJ Hayden. I'm sorry, that's Jared Wilson. Okay, let's pull it back here. Okay, Jared Wilson, a guy that we talked. Oh, that's their first touchdown. Jared Wilson, a guy we talked about, undrafted. Not only was he undrafted, but we gave him more money this year. Like, we paid him more. We said, hey, you are so good at your job that we are going to give you more money.
We said Tayshaun Gibson, who's played rock solid and played every game he ever was here for the most part.
We said $6 million is too much.
Sorry, $6 million is too much for you, buddy. We're going to send you off, and then we're going to pay Jared Wilson $5.
Yeah. And so let's take a look here at okay, Jared Wilson shouldn't be making the tackle, but he's a safety. The name of his position is like the safety blanket, so that stuff like this doesn't happen.
But he probably saw this and like threw up in his own mouth.
I mean, this is pretty bad all the way around. Terrible angles. Like, what are you doing? What is this angle you're taking? Like, look at the angle he takes. Okay, he's gonna backpedal. He's gonna realize that he's gonna help his team out. Terrible angle. Wingard, too slow to get there. Shocker. You can't chase down a 260-pound running back.
He slowed down there so he could stiff arm him a second time for fun. Look at this right here. Oh, that was the second one.
Okay.
Really?
You know what that is?
He's scared to tackle him.
That's having no dogs on your defense.
No. Soft serve.
That's not one dog on your defense.
Soft serve.
And you cannot win like that.
No.
You cannot win with that soft
If you're a defensive player, dude, you're supposed to be a bulldog, like
Seriously.
you said. Dude, he didn't even try.
Look, I understand that Derrick Henry's big and fast and a great running back.
But he wasn't even running at him at that point. Hit him from the side.
But at some point, you have to be a grizzly bear,
you do.
jump on his back, and have him carry you to the end zone.
Yeah, if you got any kind of respect for yourself.
Yeah.
That got really negative.
This next comment's from Nick Warren. He's at Nick Warren 32. He says, everybody is saying it. This organization is more of a paycheck for players rather than a team. Sad.
I don't think I would agree with that. I mean, you had guys like Malik Jackson come in, not the greatest year last year, but he gave us some solid playing time. Calais Campbell, solid. DJ Hayden, solid play this year. Probably one of our few bright spots on the defense. I mean, there's I could name as many guys that do that than guys that come in like Thomas.
I don't know. I was going to say, what was his name? Not Thomas. It was
from Denver.
Yeah.
His last name was Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas. I can't remember his first name. The tight end. Man, we'll look that up. It's going to drive me absolutely bonkers. Andrew Norwell mailing it. Julius Thomas.
Yes.
Sorry, everyone's probably listening like you guys are idiots. Julius Thomas. Sorry, there's a lot of Thomases that have been on the Broncos.
True.
And Andrew Norwell, Jared Wilson.
Yeah, but he was an undrafted
Nick
guy.
Foles.
Dude, Foles is... you cannot put Foles in that category, man. My
Guys
Lord.
that have come to Jacksonville and just mailed it in.
I think the least of our concerns are free agents that we've acquired because they've actually done a pretty good job with that.
I mean, some of them. Norwell has been really bad.
Norwell's been horrific.
For the money that we've paid him.
Horrific.
Jared Wilson has been pretty bad.
But he was undrafted.
Yeah, but we paid him an extension. Well, I mean, look.
What about that Bortles money? Go back to that. I mean,
Jake Ryan. Who are the guys we picked up this year? Jake Ryan, Julius Thomas, or not Julius Thomas, this was a while ago. We extended Jared Wilson. We
did not extend Jan.
Carlos Hyde. Remember when he was here?
Carlos Hyde's a good football player for the Texans.
Austin Seferian-Jenkins. He was terrible. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys that just like you bring. And I understand you're not going to home run and hit everything, And we're probably missing a bunch of players.
It's a culture of winning, man. That's with any pro sports team. These guys are making a ton of money regardless. They're thinking about their futures, their next year, their next contract, their next team. If you're foreign whatever, why are you going to go out there and risk your body, play as hard as you possibly can for nothing? I wouldn't at that point. And I'm as competitive as anybody gets.
Some guys are competitors, and some guys just,
Well, but that's the thing. It's the team, the mob mentality.
Yeah.
That's the problem is like once you get to that point to where that's what everybody's kind of feeling and you're seeing it, dude, you're done. And we're done. Do you think we win another game this season?
Yeah, I think we beat I think we play the Dolphins, don't we?
I don't think so. Let's pull up the schedule.
I can see us beating the Bucks too. I mean, I know the Bucks
we got
have
the
been
Bucks
good.
this week, but I mean they can throw up some points.
No, I mean I know. I'm not saying
their
I'm not saying it's a
secondary-
layup at all. I mean I expect us to lose, but I'm just saying I think we could
Their
win.
secondary is hot garbage. So I mean, if Foles can't put up some kind of numbers against them, then that's really telling. But their offense can put up some points. So I mean, that's not a guarantee. You got Oakland. Oakland,
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. We play the Chargers, play the Falcons, and we play the Colts.
Falcons are streaking, and obviously the Colts.
Are better than us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we could easily lose the rest of the games this season.
Yeah, and if we do, I think everyone's gone. But I think we win one more, and we're rooting for the Rams basically to lose. That's what we're doing. Not rooting for the Rams because obviously we're rooting for the Rams to lose. But I don't know. I mean, it's
So I mean, at this point, you're hearing a lot of the talk of we're done buying season tickets from people. I'm hearing that at least.
Yeah.
Like I'm over it.
Yeah.
Not paying that much money to go down there. Not doing it anymore. Here's that stuff. I mean that.
it's his bottom line.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they do clean house. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it happens until the season's over. I don't think they're going to do that beforehand. But I think they're gone. And it sucks because I think there are some good guys there. Like, I mean, I hope they keep McCardell because he's done a lot with a little for a couple seasons now.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, look how he's developed Chark.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope some guys can stay on. But typically when a new coach comes in,
They want to bring in
they
their
bring
own
in
guys.
their own guys.
Yeah.
That is what it is. But, move on to the next one, I guess.
Yeah, I think you agree with Noah Bennett, who says Wash has to go and Jan needs to be paid to send a clear message about the state of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, Jan, one of the few bright spots again. I mean, you got Allen, you got Jan, you got DJ Hayden. Boye's played okay at times, great at other times. Outside of that, man,
Yeah, not a lot there.
no.
Miles Jack from time to time gives you something.
Not a middle linebacker.
He just needs to get out of that spot.
He does.
Yeah. I mean, he's an athletic guy.
Yeah.
And,
And again, when Paz was there and he was on the outside, he had unbelievable season.
Mike Wilbraham, and he's at Yorkshire Jags. He says, firstly, rid the front office, Doug and Todd Wash. That's an obvious bit. Look to youthful ideas, something different. We have the draft capital to reshape this team. Use it.
That's a great question that's been asked like different ways. Like, if you were an elite head coach, would the Jaguars be like an attractive place to come? My opinion, I'll give my brief opinion, would be we're a small market. You're walking into, again, a team with TC. If he's there, if he's not there, I guess it's a different conversation. But let's say he's gone. You're still a small market, and you're still got a lot of stuff to fix.
I agree, but there's only 32 head coaching jobs in the world.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, it's not, you're never going to be – same with college. They're never going to be in a position where no one wants the job. You may not be able to get a high-profile guy.
But that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know how much better we can do than Marone.
I mean, honestly, like I don't want to like throw out names because I know people are gonna just like kill me for it. But like a Jay Gruden, I wouldn't mind a Jay Gruden down here.
Yeah,
He's
horrible in Washington, though. Is he better than Marone?
Is Washington's probably one of the only teams in a worse position than the Jags.
Miami.
Miami, I think, is in a better position. Miami's got draft capital. Miami has.
So do we.
They have better draft capital and they have talent. They have offensive linemen that are pretty good. And
They have players that nobody's heard of that like play hard.
exactly, and that's and I actually like Brian Flores. I think he's going to be a good coach. Like I like him. But I mean, the Bengals are maybe the only team that's in a worse spot than us.
Jets.
The Redskins. Honestly, the Jets at least have a quarterback.
We can't stay on the field.
Neither can Vols.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's.
But that's not the question though. Like, who's worse than us? I'm saying, what coach would want to come to our team? That makes it even.
I
that
just
makes
think
the point
this is-
even harder.
I think the front office is just handicapped the coaches.
I agree. So I don't think Marone's necessarily that bad. I don't think we're going to get anybody better than him, even when they fire everybody. Because I think they are. I think everybody's gone. That's my opinion. But
Yeah.
I think we're going to be sitting here next season with another guy that's like,
The only position in our preseason position recaps that we were more concerned about than linebacker and defensive back
tight end.
was tight end. And
Yeah.
we were sitting here going like, okay, we're not NFL execs.
No.
But looking at this roster and looking at the guy you paid $88 million to, you have no tight end. Again, you had this half-assed attempt to address the position by drafting a tight end from San Jose State in the third round who barely played.
Who played 1 year of college football.
Yeah, and barely played this year.
Yeah. Who's hurt again and not going to play anymore.
You look at a team like the Ravens. They have 3 tight ends better than anyone we have. Not anyone that we have currently available. Anyone that we have or have had in a while. You have
Maybe ever. I mean,
Mark Andrews, solid tight end, can do everything. Hayden Hurst, solid tight end, can do both things. Jack Doyle, when he used to play for the Colts, they have 3 tight ends better than anyone that we've had all year.
it's almost like they know football.
Look, it makes no sense. How can you and me sit here and point out these issues and say, hey, these potentially could ruin our season, and then these guys that get paid all this money can't do that?
I don't know.
It makes no sense to me.
I go back to the fact that they think they're it's ego.
It's
man.
arrogance?
It's arrogance.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're not going to do this because we can pick up a guy. We can make somebody work there, and then you're sitting there with I can't think of the guy's name. O'Leary.
Nick O'Leary.
Dude, 3 catches for 40 yards. That's the best tight end we've had all year. Like, great job picking that FSU guy up off the street. I mean,
Everyone keeps talking about how Nick O'Leary is the grandson of Jack Nicklaus, which is it Jack Nicklaus? Who's the golfer? Nicholson or Nicholas?
I always get this mixed up as Nicholas.
Nicholas. Okay, I don't know. I don't watch golf. Everyone always talks about it on the radio.
Is he not?
He is. No, he is. But what people don't talk about ever when they're talking about Nick O'Leary, and we've had all week to talk
Are you going
about
to throw
it.
some FSU stats out there?
No, I'm going to talk about something that people, I don't know why they're talking about it. There's a video. Nick O'Leary was sitting on like a motorcycle and got like destroyed by a car.
Really?
And there's video of it, of him like rolling over the car, like
Just got up and walked away?
played like the next couple weeks later.
Maybe we came up. Maybe they did find a guy.
Dude, I have no clue how this has not been brought up. Like, I've been listening to sports radio and like waiting for them. Like Nick O'Leary, like, oh, please mention it. Please mention it. You have to look up the Nick O'Leary motorcycle accident.
You joke about it, but that's awesome. I
Dude,
am going to look it up.
Toughness,
But
bro.
in
Toughness.
in college, I mean, the guy's undersized. He's not that fast. But, dude, he had, 17 touchdowns and like 100 and something catches?
Didn't he win? He won like the tight end of the year award in
did.
college. It's not
Absolutely
like
he
the guy's
did.
a scrub, but he's been in other places.
Yeah,
but
he's
yeah.
not any good,
Yeah.
once again. But the point is, like, we've gone to that. Like, whoever we can get to come play for us at tight end, please come play for us because
Yeah.
we didn't have anybody to begin with. Everybody's gotten hurt. And I think we're cursed, man. It's Mercedes Lewis. We did that guy wrong. Football gods are mad. This is what's happening to us.
So you agree with Dalton Carter, who says there's no point in trying. This franchise is destined for mediocrity. I'm resigned to it finally.
I don't agree with that at all.
It sounded like you said we were cursed, and it sounded like you and Dalton were kind of on the same page there.
I think we should get rid of our front office 1,000%.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think we should get rid of our coaching staff.
Well, that's all in the one and all the same.
It doesn't have to be, man. Why?
There's literally never been a situation
Okay.
where
So
the
what?
front office changed and the coaches said,
Has
"Oh
there
wait, the Jaguars when they hired Tom Coughlin
Has there
and
ever,
they kept
has there ever
the
been
coaches."
a non-owner that controlled the football operations so much as Tom Coughlin?
Probably Green Bay. I think they have a non-owner that runs their.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, my point being is I think he's been handcuffed. I don't think Marone and the coaching staff is the issue so much. I think it's Coughlin and DC, in my opinion. They should be gone. Bottom line. But they're all going to go, and everybody's going to be sitting here next year. But the player, dude, I don't know, man.
I think we're on the same page about this. I mean, we both think Marone could go on somewhere else and be an offensive line coach probably. And
Oh, dude, he'll get another job.
he'll get another
Absolutely.
job somewhere, and
I
he'll
just don't-
probably be okay.
We're going to get some offensive coordinator that has done okay at another place or pretty good. we just need somebody that can like see talent, like can bring in a good scouting staff. Like that's the problem. It's who we're bringing in.
I agree. John DeFilippo. Like, why did John DeFilippo get fired in Minnesota? It was because he had no balance of run to pass.
Oh, imagine that. What was that? 2 games ago at 46-9.
Like,
DeFilippo's over like, finally.
The dude. Okay, Filippo, you got fired for not being able to balance the run
And
to
he
pass.
still did it.
And you come in and you run the ball 9 times against
That guy's actually
against
my
the
hero
Colts.
now. He's
and
my
then
hero.
and then you run the ball like 50 times against the Titans. Dude, what is wrong with this guy that he cannot balance the run to pass? Like
Balance is not that hard.
he either has to run every play or no runs at all.
I
Like
could even go like 60-40 and it would be like more balanced.
what? What is so hard?
Great point.
Like, have you never played Madden before? Like, okay, I've thrown it a bunch. Let's run it here to keep the defense on their toes.
That's a good point.
It makes no sense to me.
So I mean, again, I don't know the inner workings of every team, like the good teams out there that have young guys that are doing this or that. I just know that Jacksonville's a tough market to attract somebody like that, and everybody's wanting all these guys out. Reboot again with that. It's gonna be a rough go, man.
Can I leave you with some good news?
Yeah,
And
I'd love that.
this will probably wrap it up for us. Thanks for listening and everything. But
I'm gonna start crying at the end.
there's an
That's gonna wrap it
ESPN
up.
notification that was just sent out 3 minutes ago, and I think
I guess I'm gonna eat my words like
no.
immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you're
All
gonna like this.
right.
You're gonna like this. Okay, I'm just gonna read it word for word. Okay, I'll read it word for word. Marcus Peters and Jalen Ramsey separated after exchanging words following Monday Night Football.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Who would have thought? The little punk is a little punk out in L.A. too.
I mean, that's a given. I mean, he's a huge talent, but he's lost his way big time. It's sad
Dude.
to see, really.
It's like everyone likes talking and arrogance to a certain degree, but there's
Sure.
like a certain point where it just becomes annoying.
And you also, when you stop backing it up with your play, which he has over the past few games, it's like, dude,
See,
you're not playing like that guy anymore. You can't talk like that guy.
I agree. If you're Deion Sanders,
Yeah,
the best ever, you can say whatever you want.
sure.
If you're Richard Sherman, who's really, really, really good,
Yeah,
you have to kind of flirt the line, which he's done.
Yeah.
Sometimes Sherman's a little overt, and sometimes you don't hear from him a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
He does a good job.
It's about self-awareness,
It's almost self-control, I like to say. Self-control.
which Ramsey has zero of.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
at least he has 2 kids with the same person. That's some self-control. I mean,
Yeah, but not married. Baby mama.
but 2 though, like a repeat offender. All right, that wraps it up for us. Thanks guys for listening. Make sure to support our sponsors. Make sure to watch our YouTube videos because I'm sure they're funny. I talk with my hands a lot. It's a thing that I've just always done. And
And he's not even Italian.
I'm not Italian. I'm actually Arabic. So
So-
that's a little fun fact for everyone.
There you go.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to hit us up with your comments and stuff on YouTube and on Twitter. We'll be back next week, hopefully. Hopefully we have a win at home. Hopefully that'll be great. But if not, we will still be here regardless.
We've got to beat Tampa Bay, right?
We have to. Well, I mean, they're pretty good.
I thought we are going to beat Tampa
Yeah.
Bay.
Okay. Let's put it out there. Let's put it into existence. Good news. Thank you guys so much for listening. For me and Joey, thank you guys so much. And as always,
Go Jags.